All right, hello. I'm Today I'm going to show you how to make a pizza. I'm going to use what is called electric stone oven. You can see in here there are some stone at the bottom. This basically lets the oven get up to a lot of degrees. Exactly 450 I've set this to. So the first thing you want to do is turn the oven on. It's fine if you don't have one of these professional ovens, because you can always use a normal oven, but it will take a lot longer if you're using uh, dough which is completely fresh, which I'm going to use today. And while we're talking about the dough, will show you the dough. It's right here. It's been sitting, becoming more doughy for the past maybe 2 days in the refrigerator. Yeah, and that's gonna be it for the things we need from the refrigerator for now. So you just grab your dough, and while the oven is getting hot, we can let this get hot as well, because room temperature dough is much better to use, or much easier to handle than refrigerator temperature dough. So the most important part of this whole process is flour. Yeah, so I have it in this neat little box, but you can of course use normal flour. So I'm going to use a bowl, just a regular old bowl. This is basically going to be your guide through the whole process. So you take the flour like that, pour a little bit in there. Yeah, that's a good amount, I think. This is gonna be, your hands are gonna be fucking floured when this process is done. But yeah, your whole, yeah, this is a little bit dirty. I need to clean it before we can start fully. Yeah, your whole process is gonna revolve around this bowl. Flour is your best friend when you're using dough, dough, and not pre-made. We have actually a few pre-made doughs right here, but I felt like doing a little bit extra and making a pizza from the scratch, or from the dough, you know. So I'll come back to you when the oven is done heating up and the dough is done warming up. In the meantime, I'll tell you about today's sponsor. No, I'm kidding. In the meantime, I'll tell you about today's. No, not the sponsor. What the fuck am I talking about? Oh yeah, right. In the meantime, while the stove is getting ready, and while the dough is getting heated, yeah, I'll tell you about. Yeah, fact. So I just asked Sponge, and she told me that phones can, you can change the timeout settings, and I was able to get it down to 10 minutes, but it didn't have any settings with never turning off. So that'll mean I'll put a timer every time I make a recording, because I'm probably gonna put this phone up here like that or something. The other way I can see stuff, but probably something along those lines. Maybe a little more angled. Yeah, I'll see what I can do, but yeah, at least I'll put a timer for every maybe 9 minutes, so I remember to switch the position of the phone. But yeah, it probably won't take more than 10 minutes, to be honest. But just in case it does, I'll remember to put the timer, and yeah, refresh the phone every 10 minutes. Yeah, the oven is getting hotter every second. You can, or at least with this model, I have no idea what the fuck this. I have no idea what model this is, but you can test it if you just write these knobs. It's currently at 150 at the bottom. We're gonna try to reach 450 because in my experience that's the best way to get an even cook on the pizza. But it's not like a fucking it's not like you just experiment. Of course you don't want to roast it too little because then it completely just it's not cooked enough. Yeah, but the whole point of being a pizza cooker is to make your own schedule, like fine tune all of the degrees, all of those kind of things. That like, yeah, it comes with the time. So I've chosen to stick with 450 anyway. Yeah, that's my preferred degree. It usually turns the pizza good. It's not like a fucking, as I said, it's not like a cheat code. You gotta, some ovens are different, some cooking styles are different, some flours are different. You may have cooked your or made your dough different than mine. So yeah, there's a lot of factors. You just gotta play around and find out what works and what doesn't for you. Oh yeah, by the way, while we're waiting, I just learned something a few days ago about suit jacket etiquette, and it's that fact that if you have 3 buttons, like I do, it's the rule is. Let me show it with the other hand. The rule is sometimes, always, never, with the bottom button right there. And the reason why, I don't know the reason honestly, but it's like the etiquette. You can choose to have the upper button, you always have the middle button and never the bottom. And when you're sitting down, you have no buttons. Yeah, so that's like a quick little suit etiquette fact with me. There we go. That's those. Okay, then you just gotta get it nice and covered in flour. When you have your flour dough, it is not spread out enough. Okay, that's good. As I said earlier, your hands are gonna be covered in flour if you do this strategy. Then you just basically want to use your hands as you would mold clay, basically. You want to stretch out from the middle and out, because the very important part, the edges are holy. You don't want to touch the edges at all. Preferably you want to stay away from ever touching the edges, but that might be a little bit difficult. So a strategy I use is to use this stretching technique. Then you can basically mold the pizza to your will, and always remember that edges are holy. You don't want to ever touch the edges with your fingers or your stretching, because if you do that, then when it blows up in the oven, it's gonna become impure and bad. So let's stretch it out a little bit more. What a nice and thick pizza today. I'm hungry. Nice and wide. That's good. This is a good size in my opinion. You can of course, if you don't like big pizzas, you can of course make it smaller, and I noticed that a little bit of the edge went under here, so I'll stretch it out a little bit. Okay, amazing. Then we need sauce, very important. I'm going to choose to make a ham pizza today. So sauce is important. You take the spoon, your sauce, put it in the middle. This is actually an ancient trick. You actually don't spread out the sauce before you have a nice little puddle. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, but that's how I do it anyway. Let's see here. Sauce nice and spread right here. Just need to double check real quick that the recording is still going. It absolutely is. Nice. We have 4 minutes until I need to reset it. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. So it's up to you, of course, with how much sauce you want to apply to the pizza, but I usually take a good amount. A nice thick layer of soup, or sauce. It's kind of the same adjective if you think about it. Okay, that's enough sauce, so I'll choose to do something a little bit unorthodox. I usually use shredded cheese, but today we're going to use non-shredded cheese. This is going to be sliced. It's just a normal cheese. This is a Gouda cheese. Nice and mellow. Not really a lot of taste, but that's where the sauce comes in. Because what you need to understand is that sauce in the pizza is basically what gives it the flavor. If you don't have sauce, you don't have flavor. So I'll put a nice little... I like to have the cheese really thick, but that's, again, personal preference. If you don't like cheese, you can of course cut the cheese altogether. Or you can have less cheese, or if you're lactose intolerant, whatever, blah blah blah. A little bit sorry because this is really repetitive. You can just slice the cheese, put it on there. I just keep my eyes open for where the sauce sticks through the cheese, and that's where I covered. There we go. Maybe one over there. I think a last little slice right here. That seems good. According to some specialists, if you slice the cheese, it turns more crispy. I think that's just baloney, but yeah. So the experts say. I'm not an expert, so what the fuck do I know, but I've made quite a lot of pizzas, so... Again, what the fuck do I know, right? Whatever. If you care about your cheese staying pure, I'll put it in a plastic bag from whence it came. Give it a little twist to completely eradicate any possibility of air coming through. Put it under into the fridge. Then we come to the ham. This is the most simple part of the whole process. You just dump the ham. If you don't have a lot of ham, of course. I just have 5 slices or something. And some sauce. Shoot onto my floor. Nice. I'll choose to cut it into nice 4 sliced. Yep, like that. Maybe a little more, honestly. Yeah, there we go. Nice 4 sliced. The pizza today is probably going to be 8 sliced, in my opinion. It's the most efficient way to slice the pizza. Yeah, we'll come to that later, of course. The pizza needs to cook first. In this oven it's going to be really quick. The placement of the ham doesn't really matter. It's basically where you do want the flavor to be. So, yeah, the ham is kind of like your... It's like your topping. So, again, as I said earlier, the sauce is kind of what determines the taste of the pizza. So, yeah, what you want to do is kind of... This is bad. You don't want the ham to lay on top of each other like that. There we go, that's better. Could probably save time if I did this not one by one, but I like to be precise with it. He says as he misses like 16 slices of ham. It's completely insane. Funny story actually. This Valentine's I accidentally made a pizza shaped like a heart, and that was completely by accident. I didn't mean to do it. I was actually going to make it just a normal round pizza like this, but since it was Valentine's, I just chose to say that was a Valentine's pizza. Okay, let me just update the... Yeah, the screen has been updated, I think. Oh, let me just... Okay, now it definitely has been updated. yeah, so we're basically done with the pizza right now. For this, again, this is pretty professional. You don't usually have one of these, but this is what we call a pizza spoon. It's gonna be in frame, okay. So you basically want to cover this in flour, most of the tip, like this. Maybe a little bit more up here. It's not really that. Not really that complicated. Yeah, because the reason you do this is basically to get a good slide when you approach pizza. I need to clean this from water. It's been completely covered in ham sauce. Okay. Yeah. So you basically wanna. This is the key part. You wanna be really quick in one stroke. So be determined and quick. Okay. Okay, this little last little part didn't want to come on the spoon right there. Okay, cool. That's your pizza. Okay, then you just let me move the camera here. The oven is standing right there. So your pizza will go into the oven right here. And the degrees so high earlier. This is probably just gonna take maybe 15. No, not 15. Maybe 3 minutes to finish. So yeah, watching the pizza burn in oven. I honestly usually overcook my pizzas, so maybe 1 more minute, maybe, yeah, something like that. Okay, it's beginning to blacken a little bit. This angle is completely horrible, but yeah, it's not really that easy to show you. But the pizza is kind of starting to blacken. That's a good sign. We want kind of the whole rim to be kind of black. And the thing with these kind of ovens is that they are a little bit hotter at the back. So sometimes it might be good to switch the pizza around. I'm not going to do that because it's almost done. Yeah, a little bit more. It's like maybe 10 seconds. Yeah, but sometimes it might be wise to switch it around, because the heat, it's more hot longer. Yeah, I'd say that is a good time to. And now, of course, the bottom is no longer moist, so it comes out just easy. Smoking, very nice. Smells absolutely. Hang on. Smells great. Right. It's gonna sit on. Yeah, it's really important that you get a lot of air from both below and above, because if you don't do that, it's gonna be moist and sticky and horrible at the bottom, like a frozen pizza, just not frozen. Yeah. So that's basically how you make a pizza from the bottom, from a bottom. Yeah, whatever. Just a tiny little detail at the left. We use this kind of stupid ass knife. Yeah, I cut it usually the pizza into 6 slices. So yeah, that's your little quick thing or whatever.